Over. Good morning, everybody. My name is Ryan, aka Healer, and we are here in Peculiar Games and Hobbies with Heroic Morale doing some Warhammer 4000 today. So this is the Rogue Trader Tournament. Rogue Trader Tournaments are small tournaments, usually 16-ish people. And so this is actually going to be a full house for us. Got a whole bunch of different tables set up. I'm actually going to spin, or try to spin without breaking things. Uh, my production setup here, so I see if I can show you guys down the room. To drop things. All right, that's all you're getting. So yeah, we've got a full house today. I'll take a picture and it'll get thrown up on the Facebook page. Um, okay, so this is not for those of you who are new. This is not the first time we've gone to stream. However, this is the first long time we've gone to. So Rogue Trader tournaments running 3 rounds. So we've got our first 2.5 hour round coming up here any minute as they sort out the pairings right now, and then we will get started. We will then have an hour for lunch, and then we will our second and rounds. As far as breakdowns on lists go so far, you can go to the Best Coast Pairings website and take a look at the actual list there. As we get people on the top table, what we are definitely be making sure that they get put up there. I do know that we only have one Drukhari listed. Sorry, Heliquin. Definitely got some Chaos, and it looks like Chaos is going to be one of the first armies that are top table to start with. And matter of fact, let's go ahead and jump over to that as they show up and start the thing. I will be joined here shortly by Greg. He will be co-commentating with me today. Oh. Get the timer set up there. There we go. We'll pause that and hold that on there. So it looks like our first round is actually going to be Chaos versus Tau, which is ironic because that's what I have this preset up for. We'll see what the deployment here is just a second, and we'll get this going. We are using ITC, so the first mission, I believe, actually be Diamond. It is long in. I can't remember ever for the life of me what the name of that deployment style is. Know what our we'll know what our deployments are here shortly as they sort it out. Thanks again to everybody for coming and hanging out with us. Let's see. While they're doing the setup, let's see if I can go. Find our event. Okay, so there we go. This is under the Heroic Morale D. All right, so the timer is running. Tau and Chaos going. Jason Burrow versus Cody Pitts. Let's see if we take a look at all the different lists. So we've got Iron Hand, Yanari, Knights Renegades, Tau-Tech, so that's definitely Necrons, Adeptus Sororitas, or Tau. We got a Grey Knights player today. Sardes, Eldari, though that is Drakari and Harlequin. Now Sept, now Empire, Nurgle Chaos, more Adeptus Astartes, more Necrons, more Eldari. Gene Stealer Colts.
Hey, just 1-3.
Alright, sorry about that. Gene Stealer Colt, Raven Guard, and Custody. So we have a full packed house today. And let's see, my compatriot Greg is over here. Greg, do you have the list for everybody that so we can go over them? Greg, do you have the lists? Lists. Okay, so Greg's getting the list for us. And we will get in here. Alright, so I'm going to update this where our people are at, because it looks like how is... Alright, so there's that. I will be getting the... And say hello, Greg.
Hey everybody, this is Greg Timms with Heroic Morale Warhammer Club, and we are broadcasting our New Year's RTT
You're good.
at Peculiar Games and Hobbies in Kansas City.
Or like in Peculiar.
Oh, in Peculiar,
The odds
yeah.
are
But,
always
you know.
with you.
Okay, we're in the burbs.
I miss the sign that specifically used to say "Welcome to Peculiar," where the odds are with you. I'm very sad they took that sign down. It definitely was an awesome, awesome sign.
Our first players are Jason Baru and Cody Pitts.
Right, and I've got the markers updated for you guys there, so you can see Tau is going to be on our right side for deployment zone with Chaos, specifically Nurgle Demons.
And as usual, we're having problems with Best Coast pairings.
Oh, that wouldn't be any fun. You would want things to work properly. Where the fuck would that be? So they're trying to pull the lists that were uploaded on Best Coast Pairings up. I can tell you from right here, staring at the table, have looks like 2 storms. Am I? 2 storms?
Yeah, he's running 2 storm surges.
Looks like a commander in armor, some stealth suit, an ethereal. Which, let's face it, that's not fun. He definitely busted out some Vespids, so I'm curious to see what Vespids end up being used.
Yeah, he's been using Vespids for a while.
So, I mean,
It should be good. So we'll see
some Vespids
stealth
suit
suit
action, which could mean some further deployment or deep strike or after initial deployment play. So I always like that. That mixes things up a little. And then he has a crap ton of Fireward. Now, our Nurgle player, Jason, has been playing 40k forever. Like,
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he was potentially born of the womb of Nurgle, because I don't think I've ever seen him play anything else.
Brian.
You have a mute button there, Greg. Can you hear? Yeah, so this ought to be really, really good. Jason is he's not one of the local Heroic Morale guys. He is part of, is he part of the Chaos KC or the 40k KC?
40KC.
40 KC. So yeah, we have a
They're a local
40 KC here as well.
Competitive team.
All right, and Greg got the list working for us, so we're going to go through Cody's list specifically and see what we got.
Okay, this is what Cody's got. Cody has a super auxiliary detachment, Delith Sept, one of his storm surges. He's got a Tau Delith Sept battalion with a commander with XV-86 Cold Star battle suit, 3 fusion blasters, shield generator, pure tide engram ship, and an ethereal with through unity, devastation, and equalizers, hover drone, eases warlord. For his troops, he's got 1, 2, 3 10-man strike teams. And then for his elites, he has 1, 2, 3, 6-man stealth suits, all with burst cannons.
Oh, pardon everybody. Greg's dying slowly. The Nurgle's getting to him.
And a coughing fit. Okay, and all his Chevrays have fusion blasters. He also has 2 units of 9 Pathfinders and a 4-man unit of Vespids with their leader. And then he has another Delith Sept super heavy auxiliary detachment with another Storm Surge.
Now, so for those of you who aren't familiar with what the fusion blasters are, those are anti-vehicle. So they're single shot heavy hitters, and we'll see how that ends up working out for him, because we are talking about him versus Nurgle. So we're 8 minutes into deployment into our game right now, and we can see Cody's got his first fire warrior going down, or is that a? I'm sorry, that is a stealth suit. The dice on the edges there. Oh, I am mistaken. The deployment is actually different than what I was expecting, so I need to change back here, because it looks like they were actually accurate the first time.
All right, sorry about that. I had to go get Jason from him. It didn't pop up on. See, Jason's running a battalion detachment. Got Space Marines with a Dark Disciple. Another Dark Disciple. Another Dark Disciple. Master of Possession. His troops are some 10-man Chaos Cultist, another 10-man Chaos Cultist, and a 4-man Chaos Space Marine unit. The standard bolt pistol bolt guns. Burgle is after me. Elites is a greater possessed and possessed. Heavy support is 3-man unit obliterators. He also has another battalion of Chaos Space Chaos Lord with jump pack. Sorcerer with jump pack. Troops, another 10-man unit Chaos Cultist, 10-man unit Chaos Cultist, and a 10-man unit Chaos Cultist. Class attack in that battalion. He has a unit of Warp Talons, a 9-man unit of Warp Talons. Then another battalion detachment, it's Chaos Demons. Got Demon Prince of Chaos. Epidemus. Unit of Nurglings, another unit of Nurglings, and another unit of Nurglings. That's it.
All right, folks. Well, there you go. That's both of the lists. Now, going right now, got a bunch of forward deployed Nurglings on the center building. The tables have no magic boxes. The location, you cannot be charged. Everything is a chargeable location. As you can also see that we have Cody leading up front with more or less a wall of stealth suits. I'm really curious to see where that goes. And the cultists are coming in now. The Nurgle. So, Greg, you've played Cody more times than I have. Is his stealth ward, is that something new, or is that something he does on a regular basis?
He's always included stealth warriors in his
Or
list.
stealth suits, I'm sorry.
Stealth suits. I mean, he's this many he has never done before. But he's been playing Tau for a while, so likes changing up his list quite often.
I mean, I do enjoy the stealth suits, especially because they've got some very good anti-weapons. And even then, sometimes anti-pickle, because they've got some strength 6 4-shot stuff. But that being said, I mean, generally playing against Tau, it's stuck them into melee, and then try to basically beat them into the ground.
Yeah, this is a very unusual Tau list. I mean, he has no drones, no riptides. Like I said, Cody likes to change it up a lot and just go with it.
And it might work out for him. You never know.
You never
One of the
know.
most interesting things about this is that Jason is one of the more regular tournament players in the greater Kansas City area. So he has a lot of experience, a lot of that directly into the fold when we start talking about playing uh, in these ITC style events. So,
Yeah, I played Jason in ITC a couple majors.
and he's actually helped teach some new people. So we've done these RTTs before. A lot of times you get people who go to these smaller events because it's their first. And so it can be really overwhelming, especially if you play one of these really experienced individuals. I know that we've had times where Jason has not intentionally wiped people off the table, but he's tried to walk through with them slowly and help them out and teach them while they're playing.
Interesting story is Cody's first major was Midwest GT 2 years ago. The first person he played was Jason. Jason was walking through his first time in a major. Fantastic.
Oh yeah, and yeah, there's a 2 hours and 17 minutes going. They're making pretty good pace as far as getting their pre-deployment set up. Fire Warrior lines in the back. Now, one of the common mistakes that I see a lot of times with Fire Warriors is people they want to be in rapid fire range. And if you're in rapid fire range, that's your half range for your Tau. So they gotta be, I believe, 18 inches. And that's really close. A 6-inch move and a charge, and bam, somebody's in there. First Storm Surge is down. You know what? I need to pull up the ITC mission packet and see exactly what this first mission is. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Where is it? Where is it? All right, there we go. So we are in scenario 1, which is secret round. The objective markers have been placed. If a player holds or contests 5 or more objective markers at the end of their player turn, they gain 1 point. So contesting is going to be huge. But then again, Cody has a lot more troops, I believe, than Jason does. So that's definitely going to have an impact on how this plays through. And I'm really kind of worried about the wall of firepower into the cultist wave. So storm surges are strong, but just have to wait and see how that goes. Okay. Doing a big stack of fire warriors in that back right side. Second storm surge is over there trying to get some cover behind the buildings. Though with the giant gun sticking up off its back, it's gonna be in pretty plain line of sight. Now, the one thing that I've noticing off the bat is as far as the stealth suits go, you've got a strong on the left side of your screen, you've got or right side of your screen, you have a very strong presence, and they're actually holding that objective in the center there. Whereas he's giving up control or contesting of that objective on the right side. So it's one of those situations where I would have think I'd like to have seen him be a little more aggressive in that grabbing or contesting the objective environment, but you can't always do that. I believe he's got a plan, so we'll see. He might just not want to be that close to all of these cultists as they push forward. All right, so Cody is all but deployed. His commander is the only thing left. I can't see Jason's box from here, but I'm pretty sure he's got a lot more to throw on the table. So Cody will probably start with the +1 on this. All right, and the rest of the 14 million cultists are coming out now. I always like when people have horde-style armies. When they have those movement trays, it really helps speed things up. And it makes it a lot easier as a friendly player when you offer to help move their troops if they're willing to do it. If you don't necessarily have to touch their stuff, you just slide a movement tray. All right, got some characters going down in the back of the cultist bubble. Now, for those of you who aren't exactly sure, the heroic morale emblems there, those are the actual objective markers. Those are moving to be a new standard. Excuse me. Greg's spraying his Nurgle to me, so I'm sneezing all over the place now. So those are going to be the new standard for objective markers. Those have been around for a hot minute. You've always used the smaller markers, everything from dice to smashed out bottle caps. But the new standard is going to be a 6-inch pad like that. That way, you know very well if you're within the edge, you're touching the edge, you're immediately going to be on the objective. Oh, so Jason rolled a 6 to go first. Cody is going for the C's. And a 3s on the C's did not work out for him. And a friendly handshake from the guys. I hope they wash their hands. I'm sure our Nurgle player did not. And Jason heard me say that, and he said bad luck. So I would agree with him. All right, so Cultist Wave's moving up. This is going to be an interesting place. This is either going to work out for Cody with his aggressive play with the spell suits, or it's going to be a big old Cultist orgy. I'm leaning slightly to the latter on that one. So because this is a giant cultist blob, you're seeing right now something you see a lot from very experienced players, the daisy chain of doom, as I'm going to call it. You always try to leave a couple of models within range of your objective, while you're also at the same time trying to push forward. And this serves two purposes. One, you're contesting and holding an objective. The other reason is because if you go into a charge and you get into a bad combat, you can kill the models that are closest to it. Nope, we got some pistol shooting. And nothing hits. There's -1 to hit for the cell suits. Cultists aren't exactly good shooters to start with. Alright, we've got an advance. Looks like a 1-inch advance. We got some cultists running up on top of the building. Nurgling's rotating around to the front of the building. So on the right side of your screen there, you're going to be seeing definitely some heavy melee action. No more movement on the left. I'm not seeing... Oh no, the Demon Prince is in the back there. It's just kind of hard for me to see from where I'm sitting. It looks like Jason is going for a kind of hard defensive point in the center, try to avoid line of sight with the Storm Surges. Now, I do believe the Storm Surges have some weapons that don't require line of sight. That's something I'm sure he's taken into consideration. And apparently our overhead cam has decided to go to a rave. Get a little... Alright, more advancement from the left side, and it looks like one hell of an advance roll on that one. Alright, another decent advance roll. Looks like it might be a 3 on it. Got 1 command point coming out from Nurgle, so he's down to 13 command points. And Deep Strike Reserve to bring them in next turn. I believe those were some demons he pulled out. Tau has 8 command points total for those that were curious. Oh no! And the Demon Prince takes out a bunch of cultists. Must have been needed breakfast. Remember, folks, never be afraid of wobbly model. And no, he did not break the terrain. The terrain actually has a lot of aesthetic magnetic pieces on it. One of the coolest things I've seen about this modern wood terrain. Alright, we are into the psychic phase. Alright, Sanctuary on the Priest. Rerolling 1s because he's the Warlord. Looks like it went off. Alright, so we have a different power going that gives him rerolls. So, he's going for warp time. Little extra movement. Okay, it looks like he's warp timing the cultists in the back there. And it's going to be an advance on the warp time, see if he can get a little extra space out of it. And 1 CP to reroll. Now, if I'm not mistaken, these cultists are actually walking through the building. You know what, folks? I'm going to go And I'm going to turn autofocus off. There we go. That'll fix the zooming issue we had going on there. Alright, so it looks like they're going to do some agreement on some theoretical model placement to where it is on the inside of the building. That is Psychic. Alright, we got pistol shots from the cultists. 20 of them going into the stealth suit team. Looks like he's aiming for the stealth suit team on the objective. Generally speaking, you always want to play the objective, and the objective right now is holding or contesting. 5 separate points for the bonus, so you have to hold the 2 in your deployment zone and 3 others. So it's not exactly an easy mission to go for the bonus. Okay, so I misunderstood. I guess that is 2 separate units of cultists there. We're looking for... I believe we said wounding on 5s, but I'm not. I must have missed the dice to hit. Okay, no, it's hitting on 5s, wounding on 5s. So 4 wounds at no AP. It should be. All right, they have cover and they had a 3-up armor, so it was 2s to save. So 1 wound makes it through. Cell suits are 2 wounds apiece. All right, now first cultist units into the charge. Looks like we got some supporting fire coming from the team on the right side there. Okay, 6s is what we're looking for. Looks like we had a few in there. And 3's to wound. 3 at no AP, so we're going to be looking for some 5 or 6-up t-shirt saves on the cultists. Okay, so as you notice there, he didn't pull himself off the objective when he took those shots. Measuring that charge distance, I missed what he rolled. Oh no, I'm sorry, that was to see if he could do supporting fire? Yep, okay, so here comes the second shots from the team next to him. That first set of shooting must have been from the one closest to the center. 1 hit, 1 wound. And saved it with a 6-up t-shirt save. And 1 goes down. Must have been for the last guy. Six-inch charge. Looks like that'll put him within 1 inch of that unit in the center. Now he potentially can do the pile-in onto that unit on the far right. Do some combat tricks, so to speak, and be able to fight and get involved there. But he might not want to, especially because that's the unit that is holding that objective. Looks like there might actually be 3 separate units of stealth suits there, which I was not. Is it how many stealth suit units did he have, Greg?
He had 3 of 6.
3 of 6. Okay. Okay, so that makes sense then. So they didn't get to do any shooting.
Celsius holds some really serious minuses to hit, so even no matter what range, they're kind of hard to take out.
Yeah, usually bulk cultist, you just got enough dice for it to matter. But I mean, it kind of makes sense using stealth. I forgot they have a minus to hit in melee as well. So unless you've got some really strong melee units,
yeah,
it's because I think what cultists hit on 4 in melee.
I think they're 5s in melee.
They're 5s in melee too. Interesting. That would mean hitting on
I may
6
be
should
wrong.
explain things. But even if it's 4s normally, he's hitting on a 5. But you can see the 3-inch pylon. He's wrapping around trying to lock them down to keep them from escaping. But right now they're both contesting that objective, and that's really what matters. So actually, you know what? I think Jason actually controls that because he has 2 troops on it. Pretty sure Jason actually controls that objective because he has 2 troop units on it. Because you've got the Nurglings up on the top, and then you have the cultists on the bottom. That's 2 troops to 1 troop.
Yeah, he has objective secure.
So, well, and so does Cody with the stealth suits, but the issue with that is he's only got 1 objective secure unit there.
No, he's not going to have objective secure with stealth.
Oh, they're elites now? So yeah, so Jason's got full control of that one. So right now Jason's in control of 4. No bonus point this round, but he's definitely in control of it. More dice flying. Looks like we got like 4 go through on the hit. Oh, I'm sorry, those were wounds. 4 wounds. Ooh, 2 failed saves. That's not good. Cody's not going to spend any command points to interrupt combat. And the daisy chain is going to slide over slightly just to get 1 more attack in there.
Yeah, right now he's just trying to tag him.
Looks like maybe 1 wound went through. Oh, nope, none. So Cody's about to do his attacks back. Stealth suits aren't exactly good in melee, but they're a little better than cultists. They just don't really have any attacks.
Right, they don't have very many attacks.
So 3s to 3. Like 1 wound, no AP. And a dead cultist. Leadership 7 plus. Oh, so they were going to pass through leadership no problem. It was 1 plus, I believe, 2 cultists, 3 cultists that went down. So that's hands down no issues on that one.
Well,
It's if you're only losing 1 or 2 models a combat round, it's almost impossible to break a leadership 7 unit.
yeah, it's pretty much, yeah.
I think it's one of the reasons why we don't see the massive cult blobs anymore, like the 20-man units, just because granted, if you have 20-man units and you break morale, it's not as painful, but it's models you don't necessarily need to lose. You run 10-man units and you lose 3, whoop-de-doo.
Yeah, I mean, I think he spread his cultists out just by grabbing and stuff, because running multiple 10-man units is going to be better than running a 20-man unit. You want to control if you.
I would agree. Definitely agree. It also gives you a situation where you can stack more command points, which is a really key part of 40k right now, is trying to find a way to fill out command points.
Almost every army's CP hungry anymore. Running 3 battalions is a good way.
Looks like the commander did some. So he's got a 20-inch base movement, and I believe he's got some other type of equipment that lets him go even further. So he, through his, I don't believe it's his warlord, I believe just his commander, is just immediately in the back line now all of a sudden. The bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Yeah. Jason places his Nurglings up on top of the building, gives him.
Oh, he's got a command and control of the center.
Of the board.
Yeah, well, he's got more Nurglings or cultists that went into the center of the building. All the stuff in the very center there while you were running around is actually in the building.
I just decided that was a magic box. All right. Yeah, sorry if I'm running in and out. I'm also the tournament organizer, so sometimes I'm getting called away.
Well, and technically, it's not really a magic box, right? Because there's nothing that can't necessarily charge into that building, because everything's basically infantry except for the storm surges. And if you're charging your storm surges into that building,
yeah, with this particular list, it's not much of a box. I mean, magic box, because almost everything can get into the building if it needs to.
I do miss the old 7th edition rules where you could charge a tank through buildings.
Yeah.
Oh, you think you're safe? Surprise! So what I'm curious to see is if Cody puts the effort into pulling the stealth suits out of combat for shooting. So I feel like I know Jason has at least one unit of demons in reserve. I feel like in the time that I've known him and played with him, he's probably got a couple more.
Yeah, he didn't. Jason normally runs demons. I mean, he really changed up what he normally runs for this tournament. He's running a lot of Nurglings, a lot of Plague Bearers, a lot of Demon Princes, Bile Piper. I mean, he's pretty standard demon. Definitely changed it.
Do you think Cody's going to have enough targets right now? Because I think right now about all he's got is the rim around that building in the center for all of his guys on the right. Because unless he pulls people out. And that 5 that he rolled there, that was for the Storm Surge. He's advancing the Storm Surge.
Cody plays some unorthodox 40k. It's pretty interesting.
Well, and I can appreciate that. I mean, the first GT you and I went to, I was the guy playing unorthodox. I was the only one dumb enough to bring Drakari.
And the irony is now I play Drakari.
Well, at the time too, was it like 25th out of 60 or something? Like I did way better than I ever did have, just because nobody knew what to do.
Yeah. And sometimes it's an advantage to bring a list that nobody's seen. Then they're not sure what to do with it. Throw their game off.
Oh, he's getting really. I think maybe he's going to try to tank with the Storm Surge. I mean, it's real hard to push a Storm Surge off of things, and because it is a Storm Surge, you can be in melee and shoot everything around you.
Yep.
So that could actually be a smart move for him, especially since Jason doesn't seem to have as many heavy hitters as he usually does up on his front line. Actually, I realize now what seemed he didn't have a Greater Unclean one in his list, and that's almost been a staple ever since I met the guy.
Yeah, much. I don't know what I mean. Big thing Cody needs to do is just shoot up his cultists, try to get them off objectives.
Okay, so there we go. That was one of the things I wanted to see him do. I wanted to see him pull those stealth suits out of combat. Now, I'm not sure exactly what he has for faction rules, because it is just a basic Tau Sept. But if he had the ability to, fall back and shoot with those stealth suits, that is definitely huge. If he doesn't, it still opens up for the Fire Warriors.
Right.
But I feel like I would have wanted to push a little bit closer with those Fire Warriors to try to take a little bit more map control. It's aggressive, and it's not usually a good idea with Fire Warriors, but Fire Warriors against cultists, I'll take the Fire Warriors every day. Especially, if you're doing a walking gun line.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, interesting is a lot of Tau players now, are even when they're playing a Trip Hide list, they're getting more aggressive as far as moving.
Well, we saw that a lot when people were running like as many Riptides you could possibly stuff in the trunk of your car.
Right. Yeah. That's still. I mean, you're still running normal tournament lists. In fact, there's one here today. It's pretty much Triptides with as many drones as you can stuff in drones you can stuff in your trunk. Because drones are ridiculous.
You can stuff a lot of drones in a 2,000 point list.
You can.
They're not that expensive. So he got really aggressive with the one Storm Surge, but the other one's still hanging out over there.
I'm not sure what he's trying to, unless he's trying to get into range of something.
I don't think now there are some. I believe that there are some units hidden in that building, that bottom right corner.
Marines in that building?
I don't think, did he have, I didn't hear you say he had Chaos Marines, but that wouldn't surprise me.
I'll take a look real quick, see?
I mean, keeping stuff inside of the ruins is a good idea. Yeah, and get us a score update if you can too, Greg. Greg Dims, your correspondent to the front lines. All right, so it looks like we've moved into the shooting phase here, folks. We've got some shots going out. A 1, a 2. I'm not sure what sort of charging he did there, so we got 4 hits. These are likely going to be some of the stronger shots. The Storm Surges have a crap ton of weapons all over them. They're basically gun pincushions with legs. Okay, so it looks like he's pushing into the cultists, trying to blow them off the objective, which is not a bad idea. Okay, so we had a command point to get conceal out. So he's trying to reduce the amount, or trying to make it harder to hit some of his guys. And I'm pretty sure we've got a lot of dead cultists that are about to come off that objective marker. Ooh, I just heard Cody say something about 14 shots. That is going to be a lot of dead cultists. Looking for 4s to hit. That's a lot of one. He's got a lot of 1s coming down. That's unfortunate. Hopefully his dice warm up on him.
Jason scored 1 recon point. And no.
All right, so Nurgle went up to 2.
There are some Marines in that building, too.
Okay, well, that confirms what we were thinking. And so we go up to 2 at the end of the Nurgle player's first turn. Not the aggressive opener that I'm used to seeing from Jason.
He's always, I mean, he's always been a guy who marched his army up the board, kind of methodically. You know, like I said, usually he's playing a lot of Nurgle. He really, you have to march methodically. I mean, the resilience of Nurgle units are just.
So you can have this is a prime example of how you can have really powerful units and have it not work out in your favor. There are still 4 cultists on the, 3 cultists on that. 4 cultists, I'm sorry, numbers are hard, units are difficult, on that objective marker, which just goes to show you, like, bad rolls really will hurt you. Or when you're talking about Tau, when you're on a 4 up to hit, that 50-50 on the beginning doesn't matter how strong your stuff is at the end. It just makes it really difficult to even shoot off weak things.
Yeah.
And I would have liked to have seen him focus his fire on one side or the other.
And if he's running the cultists out, well, so. Well, that's right. They don't get them, do they? That's right. Not anymore.
Thank you. And
Thank you.
The correction from our favorite peanut galleries was that a reminder that cultists do not get the faction traits because they were a little too powerful back in the day. I believe we got some hand signals from one of our potential club members, something along the lines of,
I'm winning.
So for those of you who have ever come and played it in Peculiar with the Heroic Morale group, you'll understand that Andre always thinks he's winning because, well, you can't beat his sterling personality into the ground with a tank if you wanted to.
No, you couldn't. No.
And trust me, you want to. More shooting going through, but the dice are not with him. You know, he's rolling like you used to, Greg, and like I always roll for the first half of every game.
There's a reason that every list I run has a lot of reroll 1s. Because, yeah. Those are always notoriously bad.
Yeah, for some reason my dice rolls when I'm playing, the first 2 rounds, I only get, I'm kind of like the Kansas City Chiefs, Greg. I only show up to about half the game. And the question is which part of the game I show up to, the first half or the last half. Now, for those of you who are raging over that one, yes, the Chiefs are doing better this year, and that's not fair to them. But in the previous years, that's what it seemed like. It was either first half, second half.
Well, I just playoffs and then see what happens.
Cody still got the shooting.
I love our Chiefs, but They get in the playoffs, and sometimes they just die for some reason.
All right, so we're pulling Cultists off the left side of the table now. What I would have liked to have seen here, because these center markers are so locked down with that base, that literally Nurgle castle, like, he's going to have to call an infection control, pest control. The CDC is shutting down that
Yeah,
center
should
part of the
clear that
map.
building. Yeah,
And
definitely.
I think at this point you're better to just box them in. Just take control of all the perimeter, box in that building, and just let them sit there and fester. Kill it with fire later when you got time, and just control the four corners.
Yeah.
Control the four corners, and then pick one of those sides that you want to bunch up on, and try to just get some fire warriors on it, and just try to try to outnumber him in the troops count for objective control.
Definitely.
Because it's the only way you're going to get the bonus. And right now, um, unless Jason's got a bunch of stuff just hiding off the table, Cody really has the best potential for board control.
Problem with this, I mean, this is scenario 1 sees control, and the thing is, the bonus point, you have to control 5 objectives to get the bonus point on your turn. Extremely hard to do. This is kind of one of those scenarios where you're playing for the kill more, hold more, and all your secondaries, because it's just so hard to get the bonus.
When it looks like Cody managed to clear most of them off that objective, but the problem is there's still a couple of cultists there, so he's got no control on that objective.
Not as long as he's doing it with stealth suits now.
Well, and then you said, Greg, that there are Marines inside of that building.
Yes.
So I don't think Cody remembers that, because I would not want my stealth suits within, literally leisurely skipping distance of a bunch of Nurgle Marines inside that building, because that is ruins. They can just...
With the new rules for adding an attack, any kind of space marine, they get a ton of attacks now.
Well, that's not to mention, you've got no line of sight on those guys, because first floor ruins, you can't see.
And they can easily charge you with no overwatch.
Exactly, and that's that's the scariest thing on that. More shooting.
He's shooting.
More shooting. Now
he's shooting stealth suits right now, or fire warriors. That's a lot of shots.
Yeah, well, and he switched his dice over. I think he's hoping that hit. Ooh, 3 out of all those. That's a little rough. I think he's hoping that. Switching dice gonna work for him. I know that.
Sometimes it does. Sometimes it's just a pointless effort.
Yeah, I've found that if I just stay faithful to my dice, they tend to work out for me. And you got to get that extra little wrist flick in there. You got to make sure you're really rolling them, because otherwise you kind of like give them the little surf shove, and it seems like they just kind of land and slide, and you just don't really get that. I've ruined myself plenty of times by doing that out of laziness, just kind of like tossing them out of the side of my hand instead of getting that wrist flick in there.
I'm guilty of changing dice mid-game. They were just rolling badly, and many times it doesn't help me any. It just makes me feel good.
Well, that's why I like using my ambiguous Age of Sigmar witch dice, where nobody can remember what 1 and 6 are. That's a joke, folks. I actually make sure that I say which 1 and 6 is in the beginning, but Andre hated playing me because he could never determine whether it was a 1 or a 6, because, well, he skims when you talk to him.
Yes.
He skims through the text with his ear holes. So I really am applauding Cody and his aggressive push with those stealth suits, but man, with them being elite, that really hurts him right now.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt him for taking objectives. Trying to do is, and they can kill troops like crazy with burst cannons. I think he's just really trying to clear off objectives. Cultists.
But Jason's got to have more.
Oh, he
does.
does.
There's no way there's 2,000 points visible on this camera right now.
No.
Like, he's got to have.
He's got some stuff in Deep Strike.
He's got to have demons.
I mean, I didn't get a chance to talk to him before the game started, so I'm sure he's got stuff hanging out in Deep Strike.
Well, and so we can kind of hear the players a little. We don't do direct player mics to keep them from being distracted, and of course, I'm more likely to curse, but we want to try to keep that as family friendly as possible.
Exactly.
But but we can hear them because we're sitting nearby. And Jason just laughed and made a joke about how Cody's shooting things all over the place, and Jason's having a hard time keeping track of what's dying because he's all over the place. So, and that can be a good strategy, I think, against maybe a less experienced player, where you've got them worried about how my army's just disappearing left and right all over this field. But I don't think Jason's gonna fall for that. I don't think it's gonna wear him down.
It's not gonna bother him. Jason is the type of player that's thinking one or two turns ahead.
And they're cultists. I mean, cultists are meant to be sacrificed.
Yeah.
Literally, that's just like a soda in the fridge to a demon.
Yeah.
You just walk in, grab one, pop its top, and chug a lug.
One thing that's hard to teach on new players is the fact that, you're going to sacrifice units. If you want to win a game, you're going to sacrifice units.
You just want to sacrifice them on your own.
The ones you want to sacrifice, not the ones you don't want to sacrifice.
So it looks like right now we have Cody's commander. Now that's not his warlord, but his commander is in there actually going after Jason's characters, going after the warlord directly. And that's actually kind of a smart move because you really want to eliminate psychers as quick as possible.
Especially if you're playing on Psyker Army. Definitely want to get in those characters' faces, especially or at least get where you can shoot them.
Yeah, or just stay out of range. But what's going to be painful for him is because those stealth suits aren't closer than his commander. If he doesn't pop those psychers this turn, or at least one of them, it's going to be 2 to 3 rounds of smite that are going to go into that commander, and that's going to hurt.
Yeah.
Because there's no feel no pain on those commanders usually.
No.
And even then, it's probably a 6-up. And while I've made some dumb 6-up feel no pains, I'm not sure that's... You never want to plan for those.
No.
You don't want to plan...
6-up feel no pains are a gimmick. I mean, they've saved my butt a few times, but they're not something you should rely on.
My immortal Ravengers.
Right.
I have had two and 1 wound Ravengers through 6 rounds of a game before, just because the random 6-up feel no pains.
Yeah, I've frustrated some players before because they couldn't kill the Ravengers because they kept making those 6-up feel no pains.
Well, and that's kind of the psychological part of it too. They get so caught up on trying to take those things out when they really can't do anything when they're that wounded. You're hitting on 5s. Yeah, they're still kind of a threat, but you're not really doing anything with them.
That's the second thing that's hard to teach new players is how to do target priority. Okay, don't focus on this. Focus on,
Okay, so he did clean up the cultists off of that bottom right objective. So he is in control of that until those Marines walk through the wall.
Well, I don't know how close those Marines are. I mean, they're not touching, so they're not in control.
And looks like he cleaned up the cultists on the left side too now. So Cody is now in control of 4 of the objectives. So it's a big flip from what we just saw. Because in the first round, Jason was in control of 4, very commanding on the bottom side of the map. And then now Cody's in control of all the corners.
Yeah, Cody may be shooting for that extra bonus point.
Well, and I'm not sure exactly what that model on the bottom left there is, but I believe that's one of the newer demons.
I think that's Epidemus. Running him is Epidemus. Yeah, it's Epidemus.
Okay. It just looks like a sort of thing you see on the internet you don't want your parents to find in your browser history. Oh, and the character goes down. All right, so that's really good. That's definitely something that Cody needed to happen. I believe it was some type of a sorcerer. It was one of his characters. I don't know if it was his warlord though. Jason also doesn't usually make his important characters his warlord. He tries to split that to kind of like the minor character.
Right, yeah.
He doesn't necessarily try to protect his warlord, but he doesn't necessarily like sacrifice it either.
Right now, Cody's running old school, so killing the warlord is where the point for him.
Yeah, I mean, when in doubt, old school is always a great option. And I think one of the things, too, that's really helping Cody is how aggressive that he is being in this round with Tau. You don't usually get Tau this aggressive. Most of the time when you have Tau or you play against Tau, they kind of just hang out. They shoot you off the table and they try to slowly walk forward. So I really enjoy seeing this very aggressive Tau style. All right, so we've got some leadership on some Nurglings or some cultists. Oh, so he's been popping some of the Marines. So we lost 2 Marines out of that building. But the cultists coming off of that back line did pass their leadership. All right, so we're going to be moving into the second round here. It sounds like Cody scored off pretty good. Our field correspondent's going to go out there and going to get the points update. It sounds actually like Cody might have pulled off a points upset on that first round. All right, so now I'm curious to see what Jason is bringing. I know he's got 1 unit in Deep Strike. I'm assuming he's got more out there. All right, so Greg is back from the field. And what do we have for points on the Tau out of that last round?
Okay, that's Cody's round. He did really well. He scored, he held more, held one, held more, killed one, killed more, and got 1 Reaper, 1 Recon, and 1 Old School.
Like
7 points.
Wow, that's a really nice push in the beginning. So it looks like he's trying to zone off. Jason's trying to zone off that back line a little.
I had to go clarify a rule that the judge was making. He wanted just my opinion, so.
Well, share it with the community, Greg. You've already said it live.
It's the whole Stormlord from Necrons. He has an ability we can call the Storm.
Oh,
and
yeah.
on a 2-up, you pick a unit that's not a character. 2-up does that many more wounds over that 2. And then within 6 inches, you can pick a unit within 6 inches and roll. And if you get a 6, it does D3 mortar wounds. The question was, does the D3 mortar wounds within 6 inches activate even though he misses the 2-up on the initial activation? And no, it's going to have to be activated first.
Yeah.
Basically saying that the lightning didn't hit, so it's not going to affect units.
Yeah, it's what do they call it? It's a chain effect.
Right.
You have to have the first link in the chain to do anything else. So
Doing well.
Yeah, and Jason's using a command point to reroll something, but it looks like he's just kind of castling up now. He did bring, are those Chaos Marines? Those are Chaos Marines. He brought those Chaos Marines out of the center and around, to try to hold on to that objective and kind of isolate.
Well, he's got to deny the bonus point. Right now he's sitting on 4. He gets one of those center ones. He's going to get it. He's got to deny him.
Yeah. So Nurglings are troops though right now, aren't they?
Nurglings
are troops right now.
Yes.
Okay.
Nurglings are troops.
So as long as he's up on that high ground and doesn't get shot off on that left
Still
side.
got to be within 3 inches.
So because that objective on that left center is under that edge of the building.
No, you're going to count the building itself too if he's on top of the building. So he's not within 3 of those objectives yet.
Well, then that would mean that Cody holds 5 right now.
Yeah, I guess.
So he would have gotten the bonus point last round.
I mean, they may be counting. I mean, that kind of stuff is maybe left up to them. So they may be counting those guys as holding those objectives. I mean, That's totally up to them what they want to do.
I know back in the day it was 6 inches vertically when you talked about
Right, 6 inches
holding
vertically.
stuff. And so I know that that building, that first floor, is not more than 6 inches tall.
No.
But then again, like you said, it's kind of up to the players to make those specific
Determine what that
decisions.
terrain counts as and what they're doing with it. So he may very well still hold those objectives.
Now, something you might have missed, Craig, is that bottom right building. It looks like Cody actually shot the Marines out of that.
Really? I still see bodies in there. He may have shot some of them up, but
It's not a full unit, that's for sure. Because we definitely all saw Jason pulling.
I mean, he's
some
got
bodies out of
a
there.
non-line of sight shooting from his storm surges.
That's true, and you can shoot into the
Smart missile systems, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so we've got some deep strike units coming in for Jason here.
Place them.
You know, castling up in the center was both a good idea, and kind of not at the same time. Like it's really hard to, you know, we can sit here and we can backseat 40K all day long.
Oh
right?
yeah,
I mean, that's
we're not
kinda,
at the table, so you know.
yeah, and that's kind of what we're supposed to be doing. But just the downside is once you get in that position against normal Tau, not a big deal because you can spearhead and split him up the center. But when you've got Tau that's being aggressive, score is 2-7, Killzor. Yeah, when you're playing against somebody who's being super aggressive with Tau, now you find yourself literally on an island at the center of the map.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Jason's doing with that. Because I mean, the Tau can easily shoot them off the building. I mean, they're resilient, granted, and they're gonna get their fight with feel no pains, but you know, I don't know. Like I said, we're not at the table, so I'm sure Jason's got a plan. He's been playing Chaos for a long time. Cody's been super. I mean, you know, Cody could have surprised him. You know, just playing those Tau super aggressive. With this really unusual list. You know, who knows? I mean, psychology's got a lot to do with the game. I don't see Jason easily flustered, honestly.
No, but at this point, the only thing that seems like it's an immediate threat from Jason, from Nurgle, is that immediate stealth suit team. They're just right at the center. And so if we're talking about going for kill points, trying to kill more, if Cody actually focuses his fire in just one unit at a time in his next player turn, there's no way that Jason's going to be able to pull kill more, and he really needs every secondary he can after that 7-point first round that Cody had.
Yeah, I mean, with Cody, you know, scoring, you know, kill more, hold more, and kill and hold, and then he got 3 of his secondaries. I mean, but hey, like I said, Jason's a really good player, so we'll have to see. Yes.
Okay, there we go. There we go. I knew that he had some stuff that was off.
Oh, yeah, so.
We've got a couple of sets of demons coming in off that left flank, and
I think he even left his prince off, didn't he?
Unless that's the base that's sitting right there, because I think the prince fell off. He had a wobbly model incident.
Oh, okay, so he just put him up in the base.
I believe this spot here in the back line is the remainder of it.
Oh, so happens, man. Stuff breaks.
Yeah, and I'm used to seeing the giant winged demon print stuff, but you know, it's not always going to happen.
I mean, when Jason likes to customize his models quite a bit, so it may have been off the base.
Okay, yep, and there are still some Marines in there. Good spot, Greg. There are still some Marines in that bottom right, so good spotting on that one, Greg.
Keeping Nurgle at bay. Yeah, I mean, that's a good placement for him. And he's going to continue to hold that objective as long as, you know, those just stealth suits over there.
Yeah, but they're on that back right corner, so they're going to have to actually come out and try to push into it, which... Yeah, it's one of those interesting things. The kill, Nurgle typically starts slow and it's hard to kill. Yeah, The thing is, like I'm with you. We agree with you, and that's one of the reasons why we're surprised to have seen both kill more from Nurgle, and when we start talking about the aggressiveness of the Tau and pushing them back, Nurgle's generally slow. So if you move forward and you stem the tide, you basically guarantee the security of your back line. So like right now, Cody is sitting comfortable because there's no pressure on him. And a Tau player that's not feeling the pressure is a dangerous opponent.
And I mean, he's pushing a bonus point right now. I mean, probably one of the hardest bonus points to get. Pushing it.
All right, we got some warp time on the Marines. Off with a 6. And I don't know, Jason's not usually very slow with his Nurgle. Usually his Nurgle is painful.
Yeah, usually he's putting in the characters that speeds up like his Plague Bearers and stuff, but he's not on Plague Bearers this time, so I don't know. I think he worked.
Yep.
Talons.
They might be his Warp Talons. I just know that they're Chaos Marine models of some kind.
That's a big pile up in there. He's got his Possessed in there, his Warp Talons. There's quite a few stuff piled up on that.
And that's going to be a lot of Overwatch to charge into. Because you've got supporting fire and for the greater good. Like, you've got a lot of love in that back corner.
Well, the Warp Talons don't get overwatched.
Oh, really?
Nope. Well, it's a good unit to charge that Storm Surge with because you're not going to suffer any shots from it.
Yeah, but Storm Surges hurt in melee. They're not good in melee, but they definitely hurt.
Warp Talons could bring down a Storm Surge. They could.
Alright, so we got psychic stuff going off. We had some re-rolling on melee attacks, I believe, that came through on that one.
Warp Talons are gonna reroll all their wounds. Because of the claws.
So what do you think, Greg? If we're taking bets now, and this goes for everybody in the chat too, do the Warp Talons one-shot the Storm Surge in the combat phase?
Maybe. I mean, they can. It's going to be difficult to do, but they can do it.
Give me a yes or no, Greg. What are you saying?
I don't know what he's running them as. If they're Khorne, he can fight them again. NCPs to fight them again.
He's Nurgle, man.
All Nurgle?
You know, Jason, he's a purist.
Yeah, but
he doesn't run Chaos Unite or anything like that. I'm sure he's all Nurgle.
Of course, he's got the one list that's not on BCP. So I had to borrow his phone to just get it out there. Ah, cool. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you. So he's running them.
Running them as Night Lords, which makes them a lot better. I mean, running them as Night Lords makes them really good. So that makes sense.
All right, so we've got some pistol shots going to the Storm Surge, I believe.
All right, I got a question real quick. Somebody's leaving. I'll be right back.
All right, so we've got another man point being spent. I couldn't hear what he was spending it on. Oh, to add 1 to wounds. So he's looking for 2s to wounds. This might actually be into the Fire Warriors and not the Storm Surge. Woof, 13 at -3. Oh, we got 4 Bimbals, so no, this is definitely on the Storm Surge. Oh. That was a lot of damage that went through. And the Storm Surge is gone. It just got annihilated. So it was Obliterators that got in there and did that. Okay, I did not see that must have been what's on the left side there. Okay, so that makes sense. Should have paid more attention when Greg was going through his list. Yeah, those obliterators coming in second turn is definitely a really important thing to do. That way they're not getting picked off in the first turn by the Storm Surges, especially if you don't go first. All right, so we've got a charge coming from the Marines that are inside of that building into the stealth suits. Looks like it might just be a sergeant off of that one. Or a Chaos Champion. Aspiring Champion. So, and of course they had no line of sight in that building, so they managed to walk straight in. And we've got a 12-inch charge from... Okay, so those are the melee guys. So the obliterators were up in that center unit mob, which makes more sense because I was trying to figure out how the obliterators had that range. So yes, the obliterators are in that top center right area. They pushed in close. So they were actually on the board, but they were in the building for that first round of Cody shooting. We've got a giant melee bubble going on that left side there. Okay, so we had some Overwatch that was generating some mortal wounds over there on the left side, so that was nice. Managed to take out 2 of them. Well, one from just normal Overwatch and another one from mortal wounds. So the unit's still probably dead, but it's good that he was able to do it. His Overwatch rolls are shown so far being a lot better than his normal shooting rolls. He's been really 50-50, maybe 40% on his actual effectiveness in shooting. It's been very unfortunate. All right, so no shots went through in that first set of Overwatch. We got a couple of 6s in the second round for supporting fire. Two wounds. And saves go through. Tau does not have anything in reserves. He full deployed. He's running a very unusual Tau list, as you can tell. 3 units of 6 stealth suits, 4 units of 10-man fire warriors, and 2 storm surges. I think there's an ethereal mixed in there somewhere. Okay, so 2 more armor saves. And welcome to everybody who just recently joined. Welcome to the Heroic Morale RTT, brought to you by Peculiar Games and Hobbies. Okay, so a couple of wounds. 1 wound taken. So they got thinned out a little, but it's not much. And now the charges are coming through. 9 inches is definitely good enough to get them in there and cause some pain and anguish. So right now, for those of you that aren't necessarily familiar with some of the way advanced melee works, Jason's trying to wrap them to make sure that they can't fall back. That way they can't get out of the combat range, that they're stuck in the fighting, so they're stuck fist fighting. Definitely an opponent you don't want to fist fight if you're a Tau Fire Warrior. And there's the daisy chain. He must be getting some type of a bubble benefit from the demon there. I think that might actually be his epidermis or epidemis. Yep, so he changed his mind. He's not going to worry about doing the wraparound for the bubble, which I don't blame him. It's one of those things with when you're running good melee units in the Tau, the rerolls and the bonuses are nice, but a lot of times not necessary. All right, we got a charge going to the commander in the back. And we're multi-charging into the stealth suits as well. So he is inside the building, so... Or I'm sorry, they are inside the building, so there's no line of sight for Overwatch on the charge. No, I understand what you're saying, Killzor says you don't necessarily want to be killing on your turn if you're trying to wrap. I think I would say more along the lines that he's trying to wrap on the off chance he does not kill them all. I would be very surprised if he did not kill that 10-man unit, though. And I believe he managed to pull that unit on, or one of the units on the right into that melee as well. So I would expect to see the 3-inch consolidation, and then 3 inches after that one unit is killed to try to lock them in. And it's going to be really difficult for that Tau unit on that right side to fall out of combat without putting themselves in a corner. All right, so Cast Lord's going, and he is going to be on a 2 to hit. This is going into the commander in the back, I believe. Rolling demon weapon with a command point, end up getting a 2. Oh, I'm sorry, this is in that back corner. So 5 attacks going to the guys in the back corner, the stealth suits. Three hits. Wounding on 2s. 3 wounds at -3, so that would be a 6-up save on the stealth suits. Killzor, that's definitely something he would be worried about. You don't want to be open and if you're a melee unit to Tau shooting in the next round. But I don't think he's going to be out of combat. I mean, he might be, but he might be able to move in. Though then again, that Storm Surge in the back corner, it's kind of hard to say. I definitely understand what you're saying. It's going to be interesting to see what happens when his melee attacks in that top right corner. We've got 3 wounds going through. Okay, this looks like it might be down into that commander there. 3 wounds at -1, looking for 4s. Ooh, 1, 1, and 2. 2 damage apiece. That is... So the Storm Surge...
I'm back.
Yep, Greg is back, everybody. One thing you missed, Greg? Apparently he had Obliterators hidden in that center building mob, and so the Obliterators obliterated a Storm Surge.
Okay. Did you get it in combat too?
Oh, it didn't. The Storm Surge didn't even last till the charge phase.
Okay. Because I just realized that there are Marines over there and his possessed and his Night Lords, his Warp Talons on the other side of the board.
Yep. I saw those come in on the Deep Strike. And then he's got the nice wrap up in the top there. Killzor is mentioning the, we were talking about wrapping and the effectiveness of it, and he wrapped for two reasons. And he brought up the point. One of the big reasons to wrap against Tau is to keep from getting shot,
Yeah, oh yeah.
because they can't fall back. But another reason is to keep them from falling back should any of them survive. And I definitely lean. Of course, I'm the one that said it. I definitely lean towards the fact that he wrapped to keep any of them from running away if they survive, because there's almost no way that that group of fire warriors in that top right corner is going to live. All right, so stealth suit unit that's in the center there is getting piled in on now.
Yeah, I mean, I think Cody playing aggressive in the beginning was a good idea, but I think it's starting to kind of kick him in the butt right now.
Well, Jason advancing those obliterators and hiding them in that first floor of the center ruins
was
a good idea.
Oh yeah. Those obliterations can sit up there and just shoot all day long.
First, then again, now that they're out, I mean, that storm surge that he has on his next shooting phase, like that should be his target. You got to, because the obliterators are really the only thing that can hurt that storm. At least without taking tons of shots walking in.
Yeah, unless you get it locked up in combat. Saves. But yeah, it's.
We had two.
If he doesn't kill those oblits, and they're going to turn around and probably kill that storm surge next round.
Yep. So we had two failed saves on the melee with those stealth suits.
Like I said, Jason taking hits not going to. He's always one or two turns ahead, so he's definitely going
to. So Killzor, you've got some that are within an inch and some that aren't, but as long as they're within 1 inch of the one in front of them, that it's within melee combat, or they're within 1 inch of a model that's actually inside of melee combat, they're still technically in combat and able to swing. The measurements get really finicky with the melee stuff when you talk about the models, and when you're zoomed out from above like this, the perception's kind of difficult. I completely understand what you're talking about. Every single one of those guys in that top right corner definitely charged in. Okay, so we had 3 hits there. 1 wound -2. That's definitely not going to save it. I'm not sure. Okay, and that's still in the stealth suits in the center. I believe he was doing Master of Possession for that attack.
It's funny. Cody's notorious for going into close combat with his ethereal. And we kind of jokingly say he's carrying around a foam noodle. And amazingly, he's actually done quite well in close combat with his foam noodle. He's actually killed some guys. He surprised me once. He killed off an entire unit of Cabalites on me one time. Just his ethereal. I was like, okay.
Well, I mean, Cabalites aren't exactly known for their prowess in melee.
No, but still. I think these are ethereals.
I think that ethereal is going to get to test his noodle, whether he wants to or not in this round. Well, not in this round, but in this game.
Yeah, Cody's not shy about charging his ethereal into things at all.
I mean, if you're close enough, the ethereal can charge into it. You might as well just get it over with.
Yeah, do as much damage as you can.
Definitely of the theory, charge before they can charge you. So Jason has a bucket of dice. And this is definitely that combat at the top right now. And our friend Larry from Hobby Progress is in here hanging out with us.
Larry!
He's pointing out that he lost Trajan to the noodle.
That's right.
That's Of course, then again, for anybody who's actually got taken a full slap hit from a pool noodle, there is some sting to that.
And I want to thank Larry because he's the guy that provided us with our video hookup today. Thanks, Larry.
Oh wow, this was actually the bottom left combat, which I believe is actually a lot less attacks than what we're going to see in that top right.
Yeah, I thought those were warp challenge. That bucket loaded attacks makes sense. Consolidate into something or
Yeah, well, you have to consolidate into the nearest enemy unit, so
consolidate in those stealth suits.
which is good because now he contests that point. And actually, if he moves his other model on that bottom left up, he can actually take control of it.
What's it's gonna just by having one model on the objective, he's already taken control of the whole unit.
Yeah.
Now,
But you can well, I guess it's hold one or hold more for your secondaries. The primary is just a contest or control. All right, so Jason's saving his control point. He was thinking about doing a stratagem for a demonic ritual. He's used a lot of command points up to this point, and he had a decent amount, but he has not been shy. He is preparing his bucket o' dice again. Quite a few hits, which really isn't that surprising. That's going to be a lot of wounds with toughness 3 Tau. 5 at -2. Going for 6 up t-shirt saves. Oof, 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 and oof.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a smart... Maybe that might not be a smart play. Because he pulled the ones that were closest and in combat up in that top right. So that the consolidation for units, if that unit on the left on the objective is wiped out, is just he's going to have that 3-inch slash, he's going to be able to pull the rest of it in. Would have liked to have seen him pull from that far right, leave people locked in. Yeah, you might not have been able to shoot at them without falling back, but at least you didn't leave yourself in a situation where they could consolidate into units that were still free to shoot.
True.
First thing again, it makes more sense in the 7th edition rules where you remove what was closest to shooting into the fighting.
Right.
I'm still more of a fan of that specific take of melee and shooting and wound taking
I don't know.
compared to A.
I like the fact that I can pick what I'm pulling, so I can pull a unit out of.
Well, I also don't think you should be able to hit a hypersonic flyer with a flamethrower from the ground, but hey, what do I know? It looks like we got 3 wounds. Oof. All the attacks. That 10-man unit on that objective in the top right is... But then again, you know, Jason needed to grab objectives.
Yeah.
He had to. So...
He had to clear Cody off the objectives.
Well, and he split Cody too. And there's definitely some type of a psychological impact there. The tower now split halfway across the map. Yep, and there goes all the boy. Oh, there's still a boy back there.
Yeah.
Oh, there's more attacks coming through.
Yeah,
never mind.
yeah.
Never mind. I thought we had a
Jason
miracle.
still got some more.
I thought we had
a
hero in the back. Granted, if you lose 9 out of 10, you can't pass morale.
Cow can only 6.
Oh, with the auto pass.
There he goes. Yeah, that's auto pass for them.
Yeah. And so now we're going to see a 3-inch consolidation towards the nearest unit, which, guess what? The last set of the boys. So the problem is, do you fall him back and then make him charge into you again and hope for some sixes? Or do you just leave him in?
If it was me, I might pull him back to get Overwatch. Cody, what he wants to do.
I think I would try
I don't
to
want to
pull him.
second guess what somebody's doing, so.
I think what I would probably try to do is I would probably try to advance them during a fallback, get as far away as possible, just to hope.
They can't vet someone fall back.
Well,
So
Well, and
Bessie's gonna get his 6 inches, which is not gonna put him out of charge range.
well, no, and it'll be an auto make anyway, because that'll be within normal movement. I'm trying to remember, does the ethereal have something that lets them fall back and charge?
I don't play Tau. They have a stratagem that lets them do that.
All right, so what's going on right now is the Tau that got consolidated into are getting free attacks, including Mr. Noodle up on the containers. Oh, Stealth Suit popped somebody down in the center.
I just checked with Cody, and he said that no, there's no strat for him to fall back and shoot. It's just a character that allows him to do that. As the character.
I'm so spoiled by all the fly units in the Drakari army, where I can just
Right,
take
yeah,
a step
exactly.
back and spray you with gunfire at the same time. So we've got a command point being spent by Jason to stop Cody from being able to fall back out of a combat. And now we got a lot of leadership going around. So the 4 was good. 3 guys in the center, leadership 8. I'm not sure what
You got a
roll, but I
6.
did
You
hear
auto
a
pass the stealth suits.
Oh, nice. He didn't necessarily need it, but
Got it.
And so it looks like leadership all around for Tau ended up working out. Leadership for Chaos, nothing to worry about. Only 1 died, so it's good on Jason to roll it anyway. They're not calculating yet, so... Alright, so we're in the movement of Tau. 55 minutes left in the first game for the day. You know, I'm not sure what the times are looking like. They've been moving pretty quick. Even though Jason has had a lot more models to move, I believe they're pretty even on the time. I know Jason has his clock over to the side there. I cannot see it from where I'm at. But as a spectator, to me, it has felt like they've been taking about the same amount of time. Okay, Jason bringing close in his class the last few games you've played with. Oh, okay.
Jason that turn got hold 1, kill 1. Got one Butcher's Bill, another Recon, and one behind enemy line. 5 points up.
So Jason managed to tie it up on that last one. Right, and so it just came up with the whole can't advance out of combat, which we had just talked about, because that any extra inches you can get would be nice, but then again, once you're talking about a unit that has 6+ inches, can probably charge after they advance. Any movement back that's less than 12 inches doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
There's a lot of rich targets out in the open. He can't fall back in that bottom left of the screen because command point was spent to lock him down in there. He's locked in combat in the bottom right. So he's kind of scattered at each corner now.
Right now, all his shooting is just going to be coming from that upper left units up there, the Storm Surge and.
Well, he does have these guys right here in the left center.
Three?
Yes. But even then, their line of sight, they can maybe put some additional fire into the guys in the top right? Or do they try to shoot the Nurglings up off the building before they can walk down next turn?
I mean, they're actually shooting the Marines up there, or the Greater Possessed up there. That's up there.
Well, the Oblitz are up in that top right corner of the center. I don't think they've got line of sight on them, but you could walk them out slightly.
I think that's what he's doing.
Yeah,
he's walking them out.
Those are the Vespids that are on that objective on the left center.
Yeah, he's pulling them out just a hair, but it looks like he's going to be shooting into the vest.
If I was gonna guess,
he could focus that Storm Surge on the Oblitz.
Yeah. At this point, what's the biggest threat to you if you're the Tau player, Greg?
His Warp Talons, because they can get around the board really well and get into combat, and they can't be overwatched. And that Possessed unit, they can go ahead and move. Depending on what Jason wants to do, he's got options of moving in a direction. He's going to want to take over probably going to want to take over the top right first, but depends. I think he's got Marines mixed in there too. And he's still got the option of his Demon Prince. Send me either way too. Got a lot of options. Cody has just target saturation. I mean, he's got targets everywhere, and it's just going to be down to target priority. What he thinks is going to be the biggest threat to him at the moment.
Given the range of the Storm Surge, I would probably try to go conservative with it and try to push it back into a corner.
One thing about the Storm Surge, he's got a lot of shots. He can definitely kill units, but eliminating his ability to hold objectives. You're playing the game, you're playing for the game, so it might be best to just get rid of his troops. He can't hold objectives anymore, and really cut back on his secondaries.
Yep. And for those of you watching, we had a kill from shooting in the bottom right corner. There's apparently still some other cultists hiding down in that building. So the bottom right, I believe, is a little more secure now.
You know what? You're right, Killzor. He shouldn't have scored behind enemy lines. You got it from last turn, but I don't.
Well, he would have had it.
Well, but he doesn't score it till the beginning of his next turn. It's one of the ones that you don't score.
Jason might have just thrown it at him. But that's a good catch, yeah.
Thanks, Killzor. I think I'll bring it up to him. See if he actually got it last turn or this turn.
Well, we can also pull up the because behind enemy lines. Yep. Now, or was it? Nope. Would have been line break for old school. So cool. Nice catch. That's one of the reasons why we like having or sharing and having all this stuff available for people to and comment on. Looks like we still have a couple of stealth suits on that center right. And we're going to be putting some shots into one of their characters in there. And Cody's still making some solid kills. Good, good. Now we've still got some cultists in the back there, as well as some possessed. They're going to make a very rough day for those two remaining stealth suits on that objective. All right, so the Storm Surge is the last thing to be shot right now. We're looking for fours up on the Storm Surge because he does not have any drones. Try to bring it down. One damage piece from two going through. Feel no pain, didn't save any. Oh, he would have scored the point at the beginning of this turn. I'm just going to leave it.
Thanks, Killzor. You were right. He did not score it last turn. He scored it this turn, so took it off his sheet.
And I'm just going to be lazy and leave it. So the Blitz are still there, and almost all of those possessed are still there. So I don't think we had a very productive round of shooting.
Cody already got through his turn?
That's all the shooting.
Wow.
And then we've got some melee going in the bottom right now. I think the shooting in that round just flipped the game.
The Storm Surge?
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, yeah. If he didn't he really needed to score some kills this turn. And if he didn't, yeah.
He killed a unit in the center.
Glad I don't like to call games before they're over, because watch other casters do it, and they're like, oh, you can't lose now, and
I think he's going to keep a slight lead. I just don't know. It's definitely not going to be the same commanding one we saw after the first round.
Come down to playing the actual scenario. I mean, do I think he pull it out? Not, but who knows?
Yeah. Well, and there we go. We had a full house turnout today. We had all 18. We actually
at 20 slots. We have 18 people playing today.
Yeah,
that's pretty much the game room can handle. Is maximum of 20. So good turnout. Means for our first three place winners, the prizes will be good.
Wait, we're giving out more than just a firm handshake and a pat on the butt?
No. Number one, I don't want to touch any of these guys' butts.
Oh, but that's why you invited me.
You're special.
So as melee continues, we can basically guarantee things are going to die. I'm going to cover my eyes, Greg. Tell me when it's safe to look again. I don't know if I can watch this carnage.
I did want to do a little shout out to our one and only lady player today, Dina Hunter. She's been one of our club for a few years, and this is going to be her first actual ITC event ever done.
You know, and even more dangerous, Greg. She wore the pigtails of doom.
Yes, she did. She did do her pigtails. Oh,
So, and she is doing Harlequins and Drakari.
sorry.
So she's trying to lull you into a false sense of security before stabbing you and giggling about it.
Exactly.
Yep, Killsword. All the local small RTTs seem to be doing really well. Our compatriots over at the Geekery have had to expand out their event so they can be able to do more people.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Tabletop's did many events recently, but I know
I know they
something-
recently did an RTT. They hadn't done one before, so that's good. I mean, anything that expands the hobby is great.
Nope.
Um,
Well, there's allegedly 800,000 worldwide players for 40K.
last
and
time
only
their check was 750 to 800,000 worldwide.
Yeah, and only like 8,000 of them actually come and participate in any tournament. So that's not a huge percentage, but it's awesome to know that we've got that many people around. And a lot of the small RTTs are awesome places to come and play your first organized tournament.
Yes,
Because a lot of times
definitely.
they're willing to teach you. You might have a little bit of a rough time. Because your first event, you don't expect to do well. It's just kind of a thing when you learn how to play the mission.
No, treat the first event as a learning experience. I mean, like today, we've got some players that don't do this often. Then we also have some of the best players in the city. So it's a learning experience for the ones who haven't done this much. And I know that most of these guys who've been playing for a while are more than willing to help you out and show you what you're.
Yeah, that's one of the things I will say about the Kansas City 40K community.
Sorry, I gotta go.
Generally speaking, it's a very positive environment, at least in my experience. We lost a couple of the Tau in the bottom right corner. Looks like the ones in the bottom left are about to breathe their last breath. That'll be interesting, kills, or if the Geekery is able to do a GT. GTs are really big events. I know we've looked at trying to do a GT before, but we ended up doing an RTT instead at the Recruits, which is an event in Lee Summit at one of the high schools out there. That's literally the whole intent is to get kids into gaming, because if you're buying plastic crack, you can't afford real crack. Yeah, we have Midwest Conquest. That's the primary GT out here. The Show Me Showdown, I believe, is over in Columbia. There's also I think there's 3 GTs within an hour of Kansas City, which is pretty awesome. And at some point, we might actually get to the point where Heroic Morale does a GT. But I think there's already does that sound right, Greg? 3 GTs within an hour of the greater Kansas City area?
Yes. You've got the Midwest GT into May. Show Me Showdown in July.
That's awesome, Killsor, that they've hit GT status over at the Geekery.
Oh, Flying Monkey down in Wichita in June. And then you also have the in November. There's a GT put on by the guys at Fort Worth, Columbia.
Oh, that's the one.
Over in Columbia. And then there's also GT over in Tulsa. Not Tulsa.
A little further than
Topeka. Went over to Topeka. I can't, off the top of my head, remember the name of the game store. House Carl. They have one. In fact, this year, those guys they're putting on the first Midwest Team Championship at the end of April. We at. Pretty exciting that we're gonna have our own team championship for the Midwest.
All right, we're getting all of the advancing down. The possessed are just shifting back across the board. It looks like he's going to leave those fire warriors in the corner alone, which kind of surprises me. But then again, the Storm Surge, generally speaking, is the biggest threat, and it looks like those Oblitz might be within range.
Can't say anything about Cody's playstyle. It's definitely unorthodox. I mean, hands down. um,
How accurate is my my time clock there, Greg? Actually, I don't know why I'm asking you. I have the... Okay, so according to the Best Coast Pairings website, there's 35 minutes remaining.
35:41.
Okay, so I'm a couple minutes behind on my actual mustard clock. We will be breaking for an hour lunch when this round is done. So it'll be approximately noon. And then we will be back with game 2. Oop, I need to update the round here because we are in round 3.
You're breaking at noon.
Actually, no. We're already in round 4 now, aren't we, Greg?
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I think I believe they're in round 4 already.
For a minute.
That last one went super
When
quick.
you say rounds to a TO, I'm thinking, wait a minute, what?
Well, no, that would be games. That would be games. So yeah, they're pushing it quick. The way things are going right now. This is the top of the 4th round, player round.
I know. Well, don't have battle rounds. I'm thinking.
Yeah, those Oblits are going straight for that Storm Surge. It's gonna be an obliteration again. No, you're good, Killzor. We're all good friends. Yeah, the Geekery. If you guys are looking for information on that, I know that they're pretty responsive on their website and as far as in store. You know, and like Kilgore mentioned, we're talking about Rival. Heroic Morale is Peculiar Games and Hobbies are home and our local sponsor, so of course we're gonna pimp them. But I've heard nothing but good things from the guys over at the Geekery. And a lot of the people actually, even in Heroic Morale, will go over there for events. Ooh, there was a 1 there. I'm not sure what exactly he rolled a 1 for. Jason seems a little upset. So Cody might have just gotten a little lucky there. All right, so updating on the total points, because we managed to get caught up in that last round. It did flip, but it's still a relatively close and low point game right now.
It's a solidly close game. 3 points is nothing.
So with Strength 7, I believe AP 1 and 2 damage for the Obliterators.
No, you kind of a good roll for the Blitz.
So the last time I checked, where they don't necessarily have like a general tabletop inside of the stream.
What's that?
Sure, go ahead.
This is just the initial first round, so no, it's not the top table. It will be for round 2 and 3. The top players will be moving to this table.
Oh, okay. See, I thought he was talking about stream category, because there's not a tabletop game category.
No,
That's technically board game. But yeah, okay, yeah. Now that I'm tracking it, thank you, Greg, for
the first round's just
out.
random. Who got on table 1?
Yep, and then it'll be the top table for the next 2. What's interesting is we've maxed out our space here. We're almost at the point where we can expand out, and we're almost at a point where we need to do 4 rounds. All right, Storm Surge is still standing, but he took a decent hit. It looks like 10 wounds left on the Storm Surge, so I believe he's still in his top bracket. Okay, so everything in that top left, the Vespids, the everything around his talons are being charged. Oh, we're disappointed you had to work as well, Killzor, but you know what? Those models don't pay for themselves. And they managed to jump over. So the Storm Surge is going to be in the melee. The Fire Warriors are going to be in the melee. Now he did multi-charge into the Vespids as well. So I'm curious. I don't think he's going to daisy chain. I think he was multi-charging into the Vespids just in case he wasn't able to make that charge distance. Which, if you can't be overwatched, hell, charge everything. Now the 3-inch consolidation on that top left for those uh, gosh, you guys have said them before multiple times, and I can't think of it. The claws, the warp talons, the warp talons. Um, I don't know how many he's going to be able to get in there, but only 10 wounds left on the Storm Surge. There's a decent chance those attacks are going to go through on it. Now we've got some Overwatch shots coming through, probably from those Fire Warriors in the top center, shooting at the possessed about to charge into him. 1 damage, no AP. Looked like a 2. It's going to pull a possessed out of the center. 7 on the charge. That'll definitely get him in there. And he's going to tie up both of those units of Fire Warriors. Thanks once again to everybody who's tuned in to join us. Please feel free to share the stream. This will be going on all day long. You'll be able to come back and grab it later. We'll also be exporting it to YouTube after the day ends, so you can go back and watch it at your leisure on a different platform if you like. I will do my best to pull it down and upload it to the Facebook page. So if you're welcome to join our open community on Facebook, Heroic Morale Warhammer Club. And of course, you're always invited to come through Peculiar Games and Hobbies and join us. Thursday nights, generally speaking, are our 40K nights. However, if you're looking for a game outside of that, you can always contact the store, Peculiar Games and Hobbies, directly. You can contact the club through Facebook. And a lot of times we have other people that are coming up here to play. I know we've had guys who are over-the-road truckers come through and dial up the store, and we've organized somebody for them to play with while they're in town on a short stop. If you're ever looking for a game, please feel free to contact us and join our community. And a charge from the back corner, none of the Overwatch being effective. All right, Epidemus is going first on the combat. We've got a hit and probably something wounding and dying, if we're going to be honest here. Okay, Warp Talons are up now. That's a lot of hits from the Warp Talons. Probably not surprising anybody. Rerolls to wound on the Warp Talons. That looks like a lot of wounds to me. 15 at -2. Ooh, that's a lot of ones and twos. And that is all of that 10-man Fire Warrior unit posted. Sounded like he was looking for fives. I believe these are the attacks into the Storm Surge. Ooh, 13 to save at -2. With only 10 wounds left, the big old Stormy boy is going to have to get some luck. Oh, maybe I heard that wrong. Because now we're doing the Lord saves. Okay, so the Storm Surge must not have actually taken any damage. I must have heard that wrong. We've got some attacks back, looking for fives and sixes. That's all up in that top right corner there from those Fire Warriors. Did not work out. Leaderships all around now. Looks like a pass. So we have behind enemy lines, Butcher Bill, and one other. Kill one, hold one. And Recon was the last one on that one. So that's 5 up for Nurgle going into the bottom of the 4th round. And of course, I have to give my my own group a shameless plug there, Grunts Gaming Network. We are a community of gaming enthusiasts. We do a lot of streaming for video games. Feel free to come and check us out as well. I know we're always supporters of anybody who is playing games and streaming themselves, or they want to play in game and stream with us, which is one of the reasons why I need to throw that logo on there, because we obviously I'm here helping to do commentary and helping to run the stream, and we're always happy to share gaming events that people have going on. All right, so as we go into cow turn, the bottom of round 4, we have every unit except for the Vespids. It looks like Storm Surge fell back. Storm Surge and Vespids are the only units that are not locked in melee right now. Here in 3 at -2, so all the movement has been done. Oh, no, I take it back. The Ethereal up in that top right corner is the only thing that is engaged in combat. So the Noodle is working. Or he's trying to work the Noodle at least. Approximately 20 minutes remaining in the first game. All right, so I'm hearing we got some shots going into the Obliterator. Sounds like it's from the Storm Surge. And a save on the 1 wound into the Obliterators. All right, so smart missiles. 15 of them. Oof. That looked like maybe a 20% hit. That's rough. Like 5 wounds. And 2 up saves. Apologies, 3 up saves because the smart missiles ignore cover. 3 wounds going through. It looks like it was on the Warp Talons. Welcome
Sorry,
back, Greg.
I'm back. Well, when the wife calls, you have to answer. So,
Well, mainly
the way
your
it is.
wife, because she threatens you with Klingon melee weapons.
Potentially, yeah.
Did she ever find her Batliff? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's back downstairs in the basement in the storeroom.
He hit it, allegedly.
Yeah.
So, Greg, what you missed while you were talking to the wife, which, hello, wife of Greg, we love you. Don't hurt him. Nurgle's up 16-8. We're in bottom of the 4th on Tau turn. Movement was short and sweet. We had the fallback of the Storm Surge, and the Ethereal stayed into combat with the Noodle, but the Fire Warriors fell back.
Yeah, he's okay. He stretched out his vest across that
Yep.
deployment zone.
And the Possessed Orb Talons managed to wipe out both units of Fire Warriors that were back there
Yeah.
supporting that's the Storm Surge, which is not surprising to either
No,
of
not
us.
surprising at all.
He's just the firepower is really dwindling here, because if you can't keep your Fire Warriors out of combat,
Yeah,
you lose so much firepower. I mean, I don't think Tide Walls are really a thing anymore, but that was one of the nice things about Tide Walls is it forced your opponent to fight something else. Like you weren't really able to push past into the Fire Warriors because of the Tide Wall. Granted, I think the reason why they're not a thing is because they're super expensive, both buy
Well,
and
that
to
and
run.
they're really just not worth. You're better off putting more fireworks on the table or something else, more commanders. Some of your points are better spent.
And the Vespids have charged into the Obliterators. Power fists for days, Greg.
What to do, man?
Yep. Well, his shooting into the Obliterators from the Storm Surge didn't do much, but he did get some pretty good kills on the Warp Talons.
It looks like his vest is charged in the Master Possession.
Oh, there is a Master Possession there. Oh, I missed that out. That's a lot better of a fight.
Yeah, a lot better in a fight.
A lot better of a fight.
I think he's got Headhunter, so if you kill him, that'll give him another Headhunter point.
Oh,
Right there. I think somebody just went in.
the die have been killing Cody. But the Master Possession goes down, so that is a nice point pickup for Cody there. So that sounds like there's some combat going on with some stealth suits. I believe that's a stealth suit in either the bottom left or the bottom right. Need 2 misses to wound. Oop.
13 minutes left in this round.
Yeah, let me go and update this. Yeah, that'll be fine. But yes, 13 minutes left in the round. We've got morale going through now. Looks like there's only one Warp Talon left. That is definitely a win for our Tau player. Alright, and give me just a moment. I'm going to double check the score out of that round. And the Possessed are going to snuggle with the Storm Surge in that back corner there. And we've got 3 points for the Tau out of that one. We know at least one of them was Headhunter. He'd slay the Warlord for Old School and one other, but not bad all around. Decent turn, everything considered. Now taking bets. Does the Storm Surge survive the Possessed wave? And so we are in the top of round 5. So Nurgle is doing their movement right now. And we're into shooting already with the Obliterators. The Obliterators are in the top left corner of that center structure. All right, we got 6 shots into the Vespid on the ground. 4 hits. And that's going to be 4 at -1. I believe they were 2 damage apiece. And that's 3 Vespids. 2 Vespids, my apologies. And welcome back to our weary traveler and field correspondent, Greg.
Yeah, I'm a little up and down because my judge wanted to take a break, so.
So we just lost some Vespids, the Obliterators, and I believe that they're putting some extra shots. Not sure where, but Cody's dice, he's just getting ones left and right. His dice have really been killing him. I think he's at about a 30% hit rate for most of his shots tonight, and he's not making very many saves either, unfortunately. I say tonight, but it's still before noon. Oop, the Demon Prince is going for a charge. The lone guy in the bottom right.
If he gets charging, that'll be a real easy cleanup.
Mm-hmm. Did get a couple of mortal wounds through somehow, though. Oh, I'm sorry. The Demon Prince was going into the Storm Surge. That's where that all came from. We've got a lot of ambient noise, though I've managed to get most of it drowned out so you guys don't get your ears exploded like you're watching the Antiques Roadshow.
Yeah. I think those possessed are going to clean up that storm surge.
Well, if the Demon Prince doesn't get to him first.
Either one of them is going to.
And 3 saves from the Demon Prince. I believe this is still Overwatch going into the Demon Prince right now. Smart missiles, probably. 4. 2 wounds from the smart missiles. 1 wound. Picking him down, but man, that's a lot to try to push through. And the Storm Surge is down. Did not survive the Demon Prince.
That's not surprising.
Nope, last of his Butcher's Bill just went through. So it's definitely a kill one, Butcher's Bill. And it's definitely going to be a kill more.
Oh, more for sure. He's gonna max out his primaries and probably get all. It's 3 secondaries. This one.
Yep. I unfortunately I believe I'd like to see him come back. I like how he's running his troops over to that objective.
Nah, sometimes I like I said, I hate to call games, but now he's down to some Fire Warriors and.
Well, and there's only little under 5 minutes left because the timer
and
got
it's ethereal.
a little out of it.
So they'll get this round done. It'll be done.
So, and I tell you what's going to happen here. I bet he charges his Fire Warriors into things to test or hold those objectives.
That would be a good play.
But it depends. If they're going to end it at the bottom of 5 here, which I think they probably will, then he might not get tabled out. But if this went to turn 6 and he's charged into melee with those last couple of remaining units, the Vespids in the top left would get cleaned up. I mean, we're theory crafting at this point.
Yeah.
But a unit with Fire Warriors isn't going to... Well, he might hold out, because I believe there's only a single... Oh no, there's more than one enemy model in that building in the bottom right. The demon on the bottom left is all by itself.
I mean, it's come down to pretty much Cody just trying to get as many points as he can in his turn this round.
Yep, and trying to get that bonus. Oh no, he's not gonna be able to get. Oh no, the most he can try to hold right now is 4.
Most he's going to be able to shoot for is possibly kill one, hold one.
Yeah. He might be able to hold. Yeah, because Vespets aren't troops either, are they?
No.
He could potentially hold more with the ethereal in the top right and troops on the center and bottom right.
Well, the thing is, even if he shoots those cultists off that center right one, he still can't get in range to. I mean, he can shoot him and try to charge one if he leaves one alive. That could get him on that objective. But I don't think. I mean, right now he's going to be, and I think we're out of time.
Yep. Let me. Okay, so they moved into round 6. Jason, on his time clock, because I know Killer was talking about, said he had 24 seconds. So he is trying to do the best he can, keep in with that clock. Five minutes remaining. Okay, we're bottom of round 6. We'll get the final score here in a second. We've got contested in the bottom right, contested in the center, held in the top right, contested in the top left. Now, the reason why the top left didn't move to engage is because Jason only had 26 seconds on his chess clock. He did, unfortunately, run himself a little short on time. And right now, it looks like Cody is trying to shoot some people off objectives, trying to focus in that bottom right, but I just don't think he's got enough shots. He's looking at doing some fire from the center. I mean, this is the bottom of the 6th. This is all he's got. 4 minutes to go. I apologize. 2 minutes and 45 seconds to go. More shooting going through. 2 at -2. Saves did not go through. Hold the warp talent off, so he's going to hold that top left. That is the 2-minute warning, everybody. No timeouts or stopping of the clock at the 2-minute warning in 40K. So we had a charge. We've got some attacks going through on the cultist in the center, it looks like. Couple of wounds at no AP. 2 wounds, no AP. Going for the saves. Looks like 1 went down. 35 seconds remaining. All right, and our table is done, folks. They're getting the final tally on the score. Preliminary, it would look like Nurgle is going to take it, but I'm not sure what the last couple of rounds ended up playing out. I didn't get an update on the 5th round, and I obviously have not gotten an update on the 6th round. So I will let you know here in just a second what the final scores are. All right, guys, I have the final score for the Nurgle versus Tau. Cody actually managed to bring back that deficit, and it ended at 21-20 for your final score in the 6th round of Game 1. They